English teacher, Top 77. Delivering explanations effectively includes keeping to essentials appropriate to your students' level of development, providing relevant examples, and monitoring or checking your students' understanding of the material presented. Asking useful questions. Since the age of Socrates, most famous of the citizens of the ancient Athens, questions have been considered essential to effective teaching. You might, for instance, use questions as a pretest to discover what your students already know about a topic, or what aspects of the topic interest them the most. You might begin a new lesson by asking a challenging or a thought-provoking question to motivate your students. During the course of your lesson, you might use questions to stimulate and direct thinking, emphasize key points, keep your students alert and on task, and help them consider a topic in greater depth. Or you can personalize the information you are presenting. After your presentation, you might ask questions to determine whether your students have achieved the learning goals set, to check their recall and understanding of the new information presented, to help them process and interpret that information. At other times, you might use review questions to increase students' retention of the information, or step-by-step questions to guide their comprehension of the concepts and their developmental skills. Questioning procedures. Although questions vary widely in their content, form of the delivery, there are certain commonly used steps in the classroom questions and answer process. Well, it illustrates these steps, and the suggestions below can help you frame and use questions productively. Number one, secure attention. Before you ask a single question, secure the undivided attention of your whole class. By so doing, you will reinforce your students' sense that they are part of the classroom teaching, learning process, and that you are addressing each one of them personally. You can use eye contact, gestures, and changes of the position to secure and hold your students' attention. Number two, distribute questions widely. Distribute your questions widely, selecting students from among both volunteers and non-volunteers to give answers. Avoid choosing responders according to any set of the patterns, for example, rows. If participation is predictable, students will be encouraged to let their attention wander, and management problems are likely to ensure. Well, recording the question distribution patterns on data collection form will help you a lot in this case. Number three, distribute questions realistically. Encourage active participation in lesson development by matching the difficulty of the question to the capability of the students. Do this tactfully, however, to avoid sending negative messages about certain students' abilities. Treat incorrect responses as deferred successes rather than as failures. Pause productively. Number four, pause productively. When you have asked a question, pause for these two. When you have asked a question, pause for 3 to 5 seconds before you call on a particular question to respond. This practice provides the students with think time, during which you can look about the room, a signal that you may choose any students to answer, that no one is off the hook. Number 5, use wait time. Once you have named a responder, allow 3 to 5 seconds for a response. Learning to use wait time effectively takes courage and perseverance at first.